Amandla, how you doing? Welcome to the African Freedom Station. If it's your first time here, let's tell you, welcome to a great family of people. We exist purely for one reason, to inspire each other to create. Tonight's show, yesterday's show, tomorrow's show is one of the most special artistic offerings I've experienced in my life. You here are some of the luckiest human beings to be part of this. The African Freedom Station is an intimate affair. It's like you choose the closeness. So be nice, you'll see, it'll love you back. Welcome tonight for the second time at the African Freedom Station, Children of the Wind.
We are Children of the Wind. I'm Modise, Sekgothe, and this is Itai, Hakim. I guess there's a story that has to be told, and we're trying to tell it. And we hope we can. We hope we can.
Dancing man moves in the night, new man emerges. Dancing man moves in the night, new man emerges. Dancing man moves in the night, new man emerges. Dancing man moves in the night, a new man emerges.
Have you ever seen a guy dance, guided by the sky's hands? Grenades explode with the slightest of his movements, followed by our eyes consulting each other on what each and every one of his moves meant. An exuberance, a moving with complete sense, found in the image of his knees bent, pounding against his chest. There's a heart intent on making itself known to onlookers, moved to the greatest of extent. He's sedated by the audience's collective scent, arcing his body built to house his spirit in the shape of a tent. From the bottom he rises, as if levitating, gravitating towards heaven's ascent. Heaven's ascent in the form of poems, or dance where soldiers advance to peacetime through art. Such rhythmic enchantments, stillness in all its beauty as dance, the movements of angels, man in a godly stance, dedicated to the ebb and flow of a spirit in trance, a ceremony of stars encountered by chance. A sacred song plays as he continues to betray the silence, stomping his feet to chisel a more leveled path away from the circle of fear. His body chants, his bones beckon at him not to break. His story plants memories of traveling across parallel universes as his spirit grants permission to glance into igloos of vast igloos within our hearts. The voodoo of a vibrant soul, violently thrashing and bashing against the invisible walls, breaking free in dance, set to flee. He danced patiently in the dark. Have you ever seen a man cry? His eyes leaking from having seen too many holes in his history. Have you ever seen him tackle his misery, shackle his own feet and strangle himself for dreaming of liberty? Have you ever been held hostage in your own bitter heart in the name of a severed art, where tattered parts of yourself spread across the stage as it continues to tear you apart bit by bit? As parts of him are broken away, he lays stagnant, pinned to the weight of his mounted sins, ripping away at his flesh to reveal his truest skin. And bone too thin, he's prone to spin spin into a cyclone within, a torpedo of springs on which he spirals and clings. For the mother of his soul is the father of his wings. He desires to be told that he is fathered by a king. Back and forth, his past is tossed into his present. He's forced from his visions of heaven into this planet. He hates the ground, its dust, dirt, graves, and how it conspires with gravity to keep us low and earthbound. He's trying to find a way of screaming without having to make a sound, a way of somehow standing without having to touch this formidable ground. He wonders how there could be a point to a sphere, moving around in circles and spinning around the sun, hanging around for centuries with no purpose, aside from tragedy and a few rare glimpses of false fun. It's a prison in the shape of a sphere, designed in such a way that none of us can ever run. So he realizes that his only escape is through his breath. Thus my last question to you is, have you ever seen a man die in the hopes to escape his host? Because his sex is a hoax. He desires to be held in the hands of a man. But society detests these urges as a defiance of God's plan and abomination, a twisted perversion that can simply be healed by a preacher's hand. Have you ever seen a guy dance? Guided by the sky's hands, grenades explode with the slightest of his movements. Have you ever seen a man cry? His eyes leaking from having seen too many holes in his history. Have you ever seen him tackle his misery, shackle his own feet and strangle himself for dreaming of liberty? Have you ever seen a man die?
Dancing man moves in the night, new man emerges. Dancing man moves in the night, new man emerges. Dancing man moves in the night, new man emerges. Dancing man moves in the night.
I don't remember when I met Modise, so I kind of feel like Children of the Wood as I was trying to like work our way back to that point. But you know, I admire his work, he admires my work, and so we kept jamming until it like became something.
So in rehearsal, we sort of just like try and draw maps to like where it is, and then we try and navigate our way back, and it's not always easy. Even with poetry and music or anything, you create something in a certain space, and then when you're on stage, you sort of need to recreate that constantly. And so this is just an experiment on how much you're able to recreate without creating too many clues for yourself to the way back.